Talking all things entertainment, this is Sherri Pullum in the studio with Dreamers Unite. How can films make change with film producer and Teaneck International Film Executive Director, Jeremy Lentz. Hey Dreamers, and welcome to In the Studio with Dreamers Unite. Well, whether this is your first time being here or you have come many, many times, you know I am always grateful and honored every time you come and spend time with moi. So before I get started and introduce our next guest, do me a favor and just hit that subscribe button. I usually don't start off this way, but you know what? We also have a dream to keep inspiring higher. And that I talk about, keep inspiring higher. Our guest, Jeremy Lentz, who is the executive director of the Teaneck International Film Festival. Well, he is here because guess what? The festival is back. It's November. And today we're going to talk all things TIFF. And he has some new projects underneath his belt as a film producer. So we are super, super excited to hear every drop. And of course, this Jeremy, he is my very, very dear friend, and he is no stranger to this show. Dreamers, you know he has been here many, many, many times. So Jeremy, welcome.
Sherri, so good to be back on Dreamers Unite. Great to see you.
Yeah, always good to have you. So we have a lot of really great things to talk about. So we're going to dive right into TIFF.
Let's do it.
So tell us, what's the lineup?
So November 5th through the 12th, we have a week-long festival that's hybrid, so people can attend in person, or they can also attend virtually from anywhere in the United States. And we have an incredible roster of films, which features narratives, documentaries, shorts, children's programming. There is literally something for everyone in this festival, and so timely as we stick to our forever theme, activism, making change. Mm-hmm. So there's lots to talk about, lots of films, lots of panel discussions, and we can dive in.
Yeah, we are going to dive in. So, but before we dive in, we're going to take just a little bit of time. I just want to play the trailer a little bit.
Great.
So team, let's roll it with that trailer. So much juicy stuff here.
The Supreme Court's recent ban on abortion violates the religious freedoms of Jews and Muslims, both communities that allow for abortions.
We were Jewish boys and girls fighting against the Nazis.
That people have to live. People have a fundamental right to eat.
Health is a human right, period.
How can we help the most vulnerable? Because that's the project.
C'est Israël, une pour Palestine.
Anywhere you can fly, all you gotta do is try.
When you eat together, you stick together.
My mother always said that.
I felt that I had a message, but people did not choose to listen to what I was saying.
The profit of people's pain, you can only be furious.
We want to provoke conversation. We want to provoke ideas.
I really like to think a beautiful, loving world is possible.
We came to the South, young Jews, rabbis. We hear Dr. King quoting the prophets. That was extraordinary.
This huge, loud silence regarding AIDS. No one wanted to talk about it. No one wanted to become involved.
Powerful, powerful. So there's so much to unpack here. We can't cover it all, but let's start with opening night. I know it's sold out already. I'm moderating a panel discussion.
It is sold out.
Invisible Beauty.
Invisible Beauty, sponsored by the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. One of our longtime presenting partners tells the story of Beth Ann Hardison, who is a woman who revolutionized the fashion industry by breaking the glass ceiling and paving way for African American people in the fashion world. And it tells her story and features incredible interviews with folks like Naomi Campbell and Tyson Beckford, and there'll be a talk back that you'll be hosting with Ruth Hunt, who was the first African-American swimwear model, and Kyle Hagler of No Smoking Entertainment, who's one of the big fashion publicists in New York City. So, and dear friend to Beth Ann Hardison.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. So let me just give my little love heart right now for doing that. So thanks, Jeremy, for asking me. It's an honor to do that. So tell us a little bit more about the film.
So, you know, the film effectively deals with race in the fashion industry and how there was a time in this country where Black people weren't represented in fashion. And this is a story of a woman who worked in that industry, who did so much to break those barriers down and kick those doors open to make space on the runway, outside of the runway, in print, and all the different, you know, media components. And is a trailblazer, an activist, and somebody whose story needs to be told. And it's really exciting to be opening with that film for the opening night feature, because Coalition is going to be presenting a fabulous evening where everyone's going to be dressed up and inspired by the fashion that's being presented in that film. And I think a great way to kick off the festival on a bit of a lighter note.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, okay, we're talked about the lighter note, and now we're going to move into a little bit of a enlightening note, I'll call it. Because listen, these are tough times right now. The world is going through lots of pain and tragedy. So let's talk a little bit about Alam.
Yeah, so Alam
also sold out.
Also sold out. Alam is a Palestinian feature film, and it deals with Palestinian Israeli students at a high school who are being taught about what they refer to as the Nakba, which from the Palestinian point is considered their day of mourning. That is the same day as Israeli Independence Day in 1948. And they're in high school and they're being taught about that event, and they basically stage a protest against their instructor, feeling that they're being taught a revisionist history. And it really tells, it's a love story, most importantly, that talks about, I think, things that youth have in common as students, and finding love and understanding their heritage. But it also speaks to the activism of these students of feeling like they need to do something more to feel that they're being recognized. And obviously, you know, a film that is very timely with what's going on in the Middle East. These selections were actually all curated well before the events of October 7th.
Yeah.
But again, the film festival never shies away from topics that are controversial. And I think it's important that all perspectives are represented in TIFF. And Alam is a really powerful and incredible film that is also going to be sponsored by the Palestinian American Community Center, who signed on to support that film.
Yeah, bravo to you for that. I just want to talk a little bit about your commitment to making sure that all voices are heard. So speak a little bit about that. I know because you had a little pressure.
Yeah,
right?
Listen, I mean, real talk, Sherri.
Yeah.
What we do is hard work.
Yeah.
It's not just programming a film festival that people think is, you know, glitzy and glamorous and Hollywood. It's really, when you are an activist film festival and a social justice film festival, we really strive to represent all communities and specifically marginalized communities. And this year has been particularly hard because of what's going on, and because we represent a very diverse community here in Teaneck of diverse races and religions. And at a time when, you know, emotions are so high that, you know, you really have to be able to come to the table with an open mind, see the art that's being presented, and take away, hopefully, you know, the things that inspire you from the film. We're not always going to agree on the topics.
Right.
People may have very differing opinions, but I think what's most important in what we do is presenting stories of all backgrounds and providing safe spaces for people to come together and to learn, to question, to debate, which is what you see our trailer really talks about, and that's what we've done for the last 18 years. But it gets harder. It gets harder because I feel like we live in a world that's becoming much more polarized, and every year there are more and more challenges that come up with regard to programming and making sure that we're doing the best job that we can to present a really broad and diverse perspective of films that represent who we are as a community.
Yeah, and I'm super proud of you for, I know it's tough. And I know it's hard. First, it's hard just talking about topics that are difficult to face.
Yeah.
But art, we talked about this before, is a great way to do it. And if you can keep an open mind and try to not be judgmental and just watch and witness and learn, as you say. And you won't have a talk back, though, for Alam.
No, Alam doesn't have a talk back, but the vast majority of films will have a talk back.
Yeah, but I hope what it will inspire, like all the films, will inspire people to talk and get together. I mean, because that's really it, is being able to build a community with relationships and being able to listen. We may not always agree, like you said, but at least looking into and listening from another person, someone else's perspective.
That's what we wanted to present. I mean, I think in light of the situation and where we are as a community, we just didn't really feel that it would be productive in this climate to have talk back on that film. And again, it's about ensuring safe spaces and making sure there will be a time, I think, when we will be able to have those talkbacks. But another film that is on a similar topic that I want to touch upon that will have a talkback is Cinema Sabaya. A bit lighter fare, but a really interesting film that deals with a group of women who come together in Israel, Arab and Jewish women, to do a film club. And they overcome their differences by realizing in the film club that they're in that effectively they have so much in common simply as women, as mothers, as wives. And they get to learn their stories, and it's hopeful, it's funny, it's uplifting. And there will be a talk back for that film that's going to be moderated by Sandy Borarsky, who's one of our TIFF official moderators. And it's going to feature two educators, a Jewish and Muslim educator, right here from our own community, Nadia Hossein and Elaine Cohen. And both of them have done a lot of work to build positive relations within the Jewish and Muslim communities. And I think, that's a really important film to kind of work to bridge the divides that are taking place right now.
Yeah, I think that is so great. So I wanted to talk too about that film there were some young people. Aren't they doing something now?
Yes.
So
they're two incredible young ladies out of Teaneck High School who are best friends. Their names are Rodwa and Leora, and they worked with the Ethical Culture Society of New Jersey right here in Teaneck to facilitate a dialogue on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and do it in a way that engaged students primarily, but create positive, constructive dialogue where people can listen and learn from each other. And they've really made some really strong ground, I think, on what they're trying to accomplish and gotten a lot of attention. And TIFF is going to honor them at our centerpiece event, which is called The Old Oak. And it's such a timely film to honor them at, simply because it's a film that deals with a community in Northern England who overcomes their own prejudices when a group of Syrian refugees immigrates into that community. So we felt that we need to honor our youth, and the youth are the ones that seem to really have the vision And these two girls are leading the way in a time when things are so divided and there's so much heartbreak and turmoil in this world. And the hope is, TIFF has always been a unifying force, right? And we've never backed away from the hard issues. And I think we are a community that really can rise above and come together. And I think the representation of films this year shows that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now tell us when the film's going to talk about it a number of times, just to remind our dreamers and everyone out there. The festival starts opening night, November 9th.
Right, November 9th to November 12th in person, and then November 5th to the 12th. However, there's one caveat to that. We do kick off in person this Sunday, November 5th, with a Kids Flicks program, and that's moderated, animated children's shorts that are international, programmed by the New York City Children's International Film Festival. And that's free for all patrons thanks to a grant from the Puffin Foundation.
Oh, that's beautiful. And you keep ticket prices affordable, so you can talk about that too.
Absolutely. Virtual passes are $15, $10 in advance for individual films, and $15 at the door, provided tickets remain. But I encourage everyone, buy online in advance. You'll save money and you'll be guaranteed a seat because films are already selling out.
That's right. You already have two that are sold out. We already talked about Alam and Invisible Beauty. So tell us about the website where people can go, because I want to make sure we don't miss any of that.
TeaneckFilmFestival.org. You can purchase tickets, read about the film bios, and get all the necessary information there.
So Bob McGrath. Yeah. Oh, wow. A legend, right?
Our buddy.
Yeah. In the Teaneck community, but also just all over the world.
Yeah.
47 years with Sesame Street. So this year, the festival is dedicating this festival to Bob McGrath.
Yeah. This year's festival is dedicated to Bob McGrath from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Bob came on board one of the first years of the film festival and hosted the Kid Flicks event, and every year he would come out and meet with the kids, and he would sing songs in between the shorts and then get the kids to actually vote for their favorite animated short, like we do in the film festival when we have our audience award. The kids vote for their favorite short. And he was so giving for who he was as a person, so generous with his time, and just really a community supporter, a great person, and we felt we had to honor him. And his daughter's going to come out to receive a plaque that we made up in Bob's honor. So yeah, somebody that's surely missed from the Teaneck community, but a person who's enriched the lives of so many, both on TV and locally. So we had to do it.
Yeah, well, we're going to show a little clip. Because again, just so worthy to see just a quick portion, which was put together by
David Levin,
yes,
who has a film in this year's festival.
Yes, yes. Well, we brought David here to Dreamers Unite to talk about viral vignettes. So, all right, roll it, team.
Would you tell us your name and where you're from, please?
My name is Bob McGrath, and I'm from Teaneck, New Jersey. I started singing when I was 6 years old. By the time I was 9, I was winning a lot of first prizes and mentioned when I was in college, planned on being an engineer. And they said, "Have you ever thought of music?" Getting my master's. My first day in New York, looking for a job, looking for a place to live, used to go across the street. I said, okay. In the office, a very attractive young girl, and ultimately, I married her.
I love that. How many people do that? Bob McGrath, look at him seeing an attractive woman, and just next thing you know, he's marrying her. That speaks to his charisma,
yeah,
right?
And Anne was at every event that Bob did, and they were such a special couple. Such a special couple.
Yeah, they will certainly be greatly missed. Tell us just a little bit, remind people how this festival actually started, just a little bit of the history. That's one part of the question. And the other part is, this festival like you said, it does some really deep work. It's not just about putting a festival together and showing films, though that is part of it, obviously, but the activism piece, the social justice piece, the hard work that it takes. If someone does want to start a festival, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with just activism, that's the follow-up question for you. So that's a two-parter.
Okay.
The history of how it started, but that hopefully will give a dreamer out there or someone some inspiration how they could start a festival and then, maybe a couple of tangible steps for them now to start one.
So 2 women started this festival, Judy Disler and Ellen Rand, who was a former executive director prior to me. And they were on a treadmill one day at the gym and said, Teaneck needs a film festival. And they went to the Puffin Foundation, which we are a project of, that's based right here in Teaneck. They're a national foundation that provides artistic grant funding to people who are marginalized. And they got the seed money to do the festival. In doing that, Sherri, they enlisted the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, along with the Links, to be co-founding partners, because one of the objectives was not only to provide a boost to our local Main Street businesses who were suffering, but Teaneck, which was the first town in America that voluntarily desegregated, people felt that the town was becoming segregated again in light of race riots that happened in the 90s with the Pinnell shooting. There was a lot of division that was sown into the community as a result of that. So we weren't necessarily the utopia that we had been known for in the 60s. So when the film festival came about, the objective there was to work to reintegrate communities and also reintegrate our business districts where people felt, no matter where you lived in Teaneck, you could come to this part of town or that part of town. So that was really the initial objective with the creating of the film festival. 4 years later, they found me somewhere living under a rock and scooped me up.
Yay!
And said,
thank you, Jeremy. Glad you're here.
We want you to take over this festival.
Yeah.
And when I took it over, I looked at the festival and I said, there's 4 years of great history here, and we have these groups. And for anybody who knows anything about Teaneck, it's known for its activism, and it's known for this kind of unique history of this suburban town that has done so much in so many different fields. And I said, we are already an activist festival. Why don't we just put our money where our mouth is and own it? Because why are people going to come to Teaneck, New Jersey, when you have some of the best film festivals right in New York City? This is what makes us unique. This is what gives us purpose. We're already doing the hard work. And there was some pushback. People like, well, nobody wants to see activist films. Activism is, always heavy, which, I debated them on that. Not all activism has to be heavy. But I said, we need to do something that will empower the organizations that we work with and engage people in a way to be more civic-minded. So we established that theme of activism, making change. It gave us and solidified us in the film festival world by really giving us a niche in the work that we do. And I think making that work so much more important. So when we started reaching out to filmmakers and telling them what our mission was about, people really listened and people have shown up. And in this 18-year history, we keep coming back to do this year after year as a volunteer-based organization, simply because we're doing the good work and we're doing the heavy lifting, and people understand that without nonprofits like the Teaneck Film Festival, we're really in trouble. And these festivals like ours are needed to make change and make positive change in our community. So here we are.
Yeah, and you have been making lots of positive change. So if someone, here comes part two, that offering, right? If someone wants to start a festival, maybe it's not activism, maybe it is. Maybe you're inspiring them to, you can't have enough films with a film festival with a social conscience. But what's an offering that you could, one or two, maybe just tangible steps, maybe we'll just say to start a festival, other than being on your treadmill or in the gym, or maybe it's connecting with people.
All different types of festivals, Sherri, but we are a nonprofit project of the Puffin Foundation. And I would think if people are interested in starting something that is socially conscious, in most cases you would be a nonprofit. So you would want to, create a 501c3, put a board of directors together and work to do that, and then solidify yourself in that world, and then work to create your content and your mission statement and what you want to do. Because I think, anything that you do, any kind of film festival, whether it's an activist, for-profit, not for profit, you need to have a mission, you need to have a purpose. And I think the most important thing is that you go into it with a strong mission and strong purpose.
Yeah, ooh, juicy, juicy. I hope you had your notebooks out. A mission and a purpose. That's really everything in just in your life,
And
having a
anything that
mission
you
and a
do.
purpose.
I mean, you
Yeah.
open a business, you want to have a mission and a purpose.
That's right.
In order to be successful.
Yeah, and to lead your own life.
Yeah.
A mission and a purpose. Yeah, okay, Jeremy. This is a quick little nugget from Jeremy. A mission and a purpose. Yeah. Okay, you knew I couldn't leave here without having some nugget, Jeremy. You always throw so many. So I want to shift gears a little bit into your producing a film. So let's talk about it. I don't know how much you can say about it. This is your first time, right? Sort of entering the film producing side, right?
Last time I was here on your show,
Yeah.
we produced a Broadway show called Ohio State Murders with the great Audra McDonald.
And your powerful story, talk about manifesting your dream and carrying her letter and writing, and that being your first show that you saw with her in it on Broadway, and then you ended up this is the little condensed version, people. Condensed version. You're gonna have to go back and watch we have to put that link in the description. So how did you what are you doing with this film producing? Tell us all about the movie, because it's exciting.
Yeah.
Sherri Ralph, I'll say.
Number one, you keep manifesting your dreams.
Yeah.
Because whatever you put out into the universe, I am a strong believer, and my life has been a testament to that, it will come back to you. Number one. Number two, the opportunity arose to come on board for a new feature film that will have theatrical release sometime in 2024. And obviously, I've worked with Sherri Ralph, who's my buddy and my mentor, and I call her, everyone's favorite fairy godmother. But, incredible activist who I can't speak more highly of. But she went on set to do this incredible film, and the opportunity presented itself to come on board as a producer with a team that I do a lot of theatrical producing with. So, in brief, the film is called The Fabulous Four. It's a female rom-com starring Bette Midler, Susan Sarandon, Megan Mullally, and our favorite friend, Sherri Ralph. And similar to an 80 for Brady, it's a road trip movie about one of the friends getting married later in life, and the girls get back together and take a road trip to go down for the wedding and all the kind of chaos and stories that ensue. So it's a comedy. They got a SAG waiver to shoot. The film was shot in Savannah, Georgia. We were just on set about 2 weeks ago, and hopefully it will be arriving in theatrical release sometime next year. So I'll be back to talk about that premiere, hopefully.
Yes, you will be back. Not just hopefully, you are coming back to talk about it. That is so exciting.
Really
and
exciting.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Jeremy. Really.
It's so great to be able to work in these spaces.
Yeah.
I think whether we're working in theater world or the nonprofit world with the film festival, or doing a fun rom-com, because everyone needs to laugh in these times, and that's really kind of what drew me to the film. I said, we need more comedy, we need some more laughter, and we have to sometimes be able to step away from the turmoil of the world and our day-to-day life and have an escape. So I think this film will do that, and that is my hope, that we need more joy. We need more joy in the world.
Yes, we need more joy in the world. Well, this is why I do Dreamers Unite. This is why you're here, Jeremy. This is why you do the festival. I mean, you have to go through the tough conversations to get to the joy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And joy is a choice. Right. Happiness is a choice. We don't wake up every day happy.
Right.
We have to choose it.
And you don't know joy unless you've had the downs and the suffering, right? So that, the highs and the lows allow you to appreciate the joy when it's there.
Yes. And some of I don't know if you can share this, but with me, or most people can, or share this sentiment, I want to say, is some of the toughest times in my life. I can now look back and I can laugh at them. You know what I mean? Because there's some moments.
Laughter's the key, let me tell you. If you can't laugh at yourself, if you can't laugh at life, you're going to have some problems. And I think we forget to laugh sometimes. Yeah. So, friends and people that make you laugh, keep them close.
Yes, well, I hope I continue to make you laugh, Jeremy, because I'm going to keep you close always. Okay, we are going to move on to our next segment. And just tell people one more time, before we move on, about the Teaneck International Film Festival, one more time, opening, where you can get your tickets.
TeaneckFilmFestival.org, November 5th to the 12th. You can purchase tickets online and access information about all the film screenings. TeaneckFilmFestival.org.
You got it. And if someone wants to volunteer or donate, they just go to TeaneckFilmFestival.org?
There's a big donation button right on the homepage of the festival. You can donate at any time throughout the year. No donation too big or too small. Also, if people want to sign up to become volunteers and work on the festival, there is a volunteer form that they can submit right on the website.
Yeah, amazing. Jeremy, always, I thank you. We are moving on to segment 2, question and answer. You have someone anxiously awaiting an answer to their video question that they have for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we have a video question for you.
You're always surprising me, Sherri.
I know. You think you're going to come here and get the same old, Jeremy? I got to stay on my P's and Q's with you. Anyway, question and answer up next. Jeremy Lentz, Executive Director of the Teaneck International Film Festival. We'll be right back. We are back, and it is time for question and answer with Jeremy Lentz. We have a question from Annie Fleisch. And all right, team, let's take it away.
Hi, Dreamers Unite and Jeremy. So the Teaneck International Film Festival highlights activism and making change as their permanent theme. But how would a filmmaker know that their film would be a good fit for this festival? As a filmmaker myself, my recent short film, Homecoming, depicts themes of missing women and contemporary youth. So would my film be a good fit for the Teaneck Festival? Thank you.
That is a great question, Annie. And congratulations to you, filmmaker. All right, take it away.
So good to hear from you, Annie. So any film, I think, that has some kind of social commentary, talking about something that's relevant to what we are living in today. And it always doesn't have to be, activism in the way that people may think of activism, like civil rights or the environment or women's reproductive rights. Films that have mission and meaning, that are trying to raise awareness on the topic, would be a perfect fit for a film festival. And we encourage those type of filmmakers with those kind of films to apply. And we always want to hear from young filmmakers.
Yeah, so do you think her film, ultimately, Annie's film, would be a good fit?
Annie, we better see your submission in 2024. Submissions start January 2nd, and you can submit right through the Teaneck Film Festival website.
Amazing. Annie, submit your film, Teaneck International Film Festival. You've been told by the Executive Director, Jeremy Lentz. Jeremy, thank you so much for making a difference.
Thank you for doing this, and thank you for always having us. You're such a supporter of the festival and, all things Jeremy. So can't thank you enough for the good work you do.
Jeremy, thank you so much. I'm a fan, and I'm also a humble volunteer as well. So we are moving on to our next segment, The Dream Game. Jeremy, you ready to answer some questions?
I'm ready.
All right. Last time we focused on Jeremy's dream. This time we're focusing on TIFF's dreams.
I like it.
All right. So up next, the dream game. We are back for the dream game. Jeremy, are you ready?
I'm ready, Sherri.
Yes. So last time you were here and you actually were able to put one of your dreams in my dream box, which is still there in my dream box, manifesting all those dreams. One day we're going to have a dream board here. And so everyone can see what they dreamed about and see how it manifested.
Wow.
So this time, though, we're going to focus on TIFF's dreams. So I'm going to start this question off with the people who founded the Teaneck International Film Festival, Judy and Ellen, right? Do you think this is what they envisioned, or do you think it's even beyond their wildest dreams? What do you think?
I think the festival has surpassed their dreams, and I think 18 years speaks to what we've done. I don't know, and you'd have to ask Ellen and Judy this, but I think that they were always okay with being small, and the festival has really become large. But I definitely think that it has surpassed what their initial vision was, and I know for a fact that they are incredibly proud. I mean, Judy's still a force on our committee and as involved as she's ever been. But Ellen has told me personally how proud she is of the work that we've done and what we continue to do. So that I do know, and obviously that means a lot to me.
Yeah, it means a lot. Judy is, like you said, she's at the meeting, she's still running, she's in the forefront. I mean,
Judy keeps everybody in line.
She does. We love you, Judy. Here's a little, and Ellen too. And thank you for your friendship and your vision of starting this festival. And we're knowing that it's surpassing dreams and it's going to even go beyond. So every dream, there's challenges, right? So what would you say, just one, what was one of the biggest, greatest challenges of TIFF, and how did TIFF, the organization, overcome it?
There's so many challenges. Every year presents itself with new challenges. Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest challenges was when the film industry shifted to digital and 35 millimeter went by the wayside, and we saw the closing of our little mom and pop movie theater in town, and we didn't know if that was going to be the end of our film festival. That challenge was really tough because without a movie theater, we can't do the work that we do. And we formed an ad hoc committee that got together to work with the real estate owner of that building to ensure that they were open to keeping it a movie theater until they found a proper tenant who could do the necessary upgrades, which at that time was millions of dollars, to transition that theater into digital and do major renovations, because the theater really was in disrepair. So I think that was the biggest challenge, and operating a film festival for a year and a half while that theater was dark and having to work around it.
Wow, where did you go? What space did you use?
So we used the Temple Emeth, where we're still at. Teaneck High School became our opening night venue that year, and the Puffin Cultural Forum as well, if I recall correctly. There may have been another venue that year, but those were the major ones, with the high school being the opening night.
I didn't realize that. I just learned I always learn something from you, Jeremy.
You got to talk to Deidre Tate. She was the opening night presenter with Life, Love, Soul that year.
Yeah, Deidre Tate. Anyway, Deidre, I want you to come on Dreamers. I think I've invited her before, so I'm going to follow up on that. Deidre,
Deidre's great.
I'm coming for you, Deidre Tate. I'm coming for you. Let's talk about Grows and Glows.
Grows and glows.
Yes, dreamer. Let's start with the glows first. The dreamer glows. What do you do really, really well? I mean, we talked a lot about the activism and bringing people together, and that's huge. So I'm not going to, underrate that. But what do you think the festival does so well?
That's easy. We build community.
Love that. There's your glow. Build community. Where's a grow? What do you think, something you'd like to improve upon?
That's also easy. Bring in more youth. We want to see younger people become involved and volunteer and be engaged in the causes that TIFF is involved with.
Amazing. Young people. Young people.
Young people, we want to hear from you. We need you.
We want to hear from you. And my interns and producer and director that are right here in the studio, let me look over at you too. They're looking at their phones. Young people, we want to hear from, spread the word, young people. Okay. All righty. We're going to move on to our next question. So I always love to do gratitude. I love to focus on that because gratitude is a practice.
Right.
It's one that I try to have daily in my life. And TIFF has so much to be thankful for. So if you were to get your Dreamers Award, and I say it again, one day I will have an award on here, people. Not yet, but not today, but I will. Who would you like to thank on behalf of the Teaneck International Film Festival?
There are too many people to thank. I think once you start thanking people, then you leave out the people that you should have thanked. So, that's like my Oscar acceptance speech or my Tony acceptance speech. There are way too many people to thank. But I think the people know who they are, who have been the inspiration, who have been the guiding lights, who have really, I think, uplifted us and provided us the mentorship in doing the heavy lifting. Because that's really what we do. Yeah. We do the heavy lifting, and in a community where that can be really tough at times. But there's so many. It's an army of people, and Sherri, having been involved with our committee, it really takes a village.
It does, and you have a great.
And I wouldn't want to start naming people because there's too many to name.
Yes. Okay. So you know who you are. Thank you. That's all we have to do. Yeah. Say thank you. All right. Last question. What is in the, so, this is a community where we want to affirm and we dream, share, and we manifest.
Yes.
Okay. So we want to affirm with you. What's one of TIFF's biggest dreams that we can affirm with you and also help maybe to make happen? Be a part of it.
I think TIFF's biggest dream is to be able to continue telling the stories and providing a platform for artists and giving safe spaces for community to come together and have a venue where they can talk about everything that's going on in the world. I think that's, our primary purpose in what we do. And the hope is that we can continue to do that and continue to grow and continue to bring innovators into the festival. That's the dream, because we need young blood. We need new talent. We need people that want to come in and see the vision of TIFF continue, because it's not a one-person show by any stretch. And we always need help. And the bigger you get, the more work there is to do.
Yeah, the more work, the more help. So we claim and affirm with you. And if people want to support, since that's part of the big dream, young people especially still are calling on you. So where can they go? Let's tell them again.
They can go to teaneckfilmfestival.org. You can send us an email. You can call us, reach out to us, tell us what you're interested in, how you'd like to get involved, and we will respond.
Yeah, we can help that dream come true. Tell people how they can get in touch with you, Jeremy, on social media. What's yours?
Social media, you can follow the film festival at Teaneck Film Festival. That's our handle. Instagram, Facebook. We're also on X. My personal handle, JN Lentz on IG. Jeremy Lentz. You can find me on Facebook too.
Yeah, amazing. Jeremy, we don't want to have this come to an end yet. Oh, Jeremy,
Oh, it's
thank
always
you
so much fun to
so
be here,
much.
Sherri. You do
Thank
such a good
you.
job.
Thank you so. I'm gonna get teary-eyed. I feel I might need a little Kleenex or something, or tissue. I don't want to say that word. I'm not branding anything. I might need a tissue. I am just always just really honored, Jeremy, and privileged to, the first time I came to the festival, I was coming. Sabrina brought me into the fold. Sabrina Clay, who's our producer, brought me in.
That was Vivian Chu's opening? Was that the first
That
time?
was Vivian Chu's opening, and that was Jodie Foster was there.
2019.
2019 was my first.
That was a huge year. Cheryl was there that year too.
I interviewed
we
Cheryl.
Had all the heavyweights. That was
I came in at the right time.
Right before it all shut down with COVID.
Yeah, and you were just so kind, and then offering me a seat at the table to come and to have a voice and to participate and to give in any way that I can, whatever I can bring. I'm always grateful.
Just fun fact, this is our biggest festival since 2019.
Wow. That is a good fun fact. Okay, you don't want to miss the Teaneck International Film Festival this year, November 9th through November 12th. Get your tickets, and I'm going to say it again, get them now. It's virtual and it's in person. Jeremy Lentz, I thank you so much, because I could go on and on.
Thank you, Sherri.
I could. Listen, dreamers, thank you so much. Every time you come to this channel to spend time with me and my guests, listen, it really is about dreaming, sharing, and manifesting. We're working hard here. I know I'm working hard to try to inspire people higher, to help people reach their goals and their dreams. Our dreams are sacred gifts. Remember that, sacred gifts. So do not take them for granted. Go ahead and live full out with lots of purpose. As Jeremy said, I caught that nugget earlier. And please, again, support us. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us at Dreamers Unite Show. And again, just continue to dream, because now really is the time for dreamers to create the world we all wish to see. I'll see you again next time, dreamers, right here in the studio.